Hey, Maddie. Oh, no, wait, that's not how we start.
She,
Okay, rewind. Pretend, audience, pretend that I didn't do that. Pretend I didn't do that. Okay, we're starting this song. Um,
oh,
cause I don't talk shit about you on the
you on
internet.
the internet,
Never said
never
anyone
see.
anything bad.
Zoom recordings are so hard because
I
I
know.
was on time at the beginning, and then I obviously wasn't
And I
matched
paused
up
so you
with
could
you, so
catch
you were
up, but
trying to
then by
match
the
up with
time it caught
me.
up, it was blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
fucked up. So
It's fine.
sorry about that, everyone.
It's fine. And I figured we should sing Billie Eilish's Happier Than Ever because we're never gonna top Kelly Clarkson's version of it, so it doesn't matter if it's
So,
horrific.
so we might as well just start at the bottom.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that was pretty. That was a pretty iconic version.
True. For
And the fact
context,
that she just straight up was like, yeah, I am going to release a studio version of this.
it's
King
iconic.
shit move. It is iconic.
For context, Kelly Clarkson on her talk show has a segment called Kellyoke, which iconic in and of itself.
So true. I think
Um,
my favorite thing about it is that she's the host of the talk show and she straight up was like, but I'm going to sing too.
literally, it's pretty iconic. I mean, it gives her an
I
edge
so
over all the
clocked
other
myself
talk show
thinking.
hosts.
So true. So true.
Um, yeah, and like a few months ago, she did a cover of Billie Eilish's "Happier Than Ever," and everyone was obsessed with it. So she thought, I
Yeah.
know, I'll release a mini album of covers that I've performed on the show, and it will be
Yeah.
beautiful. And she was right.
And it was.
I think it has literally like 4 songs on the album, but forgive Maddie for dying. We'll get into
Yeah,
that.
like 4 to 6. Maybe. And but this one was definitely the most iconic. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't listen to the others. I think they weren't released yet. This is the only one that
Yeah,
was explicit. And honestly, go Kelly.
yeah, and also because we're in Australia, we're not able to see the YouTube videos all the time.
Aren't we? Wow.
No, a bunch of talk show clips and like SNL and all that. We can never see the clips because we're not in the right region. Anyway,
That
Maddie,
doesn't seem fair.
life's not fair. Welcome to What the Fuck is Happening in the podcast.
Welcome.
A really uplifting way to
Hi.
start.
Truly, truly. Well, it went from Kelly as a queen to, oh my God, Australia sucks in like 2 seconds flat.
And both are true.
A natural progression,
A
obviously.
natural progression. How are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Good. I did have a brief stint this week of genuinely thinking I was dying, but like aside from that, I'm good.
exactly. That's rough.
How are you?
It's been a rough couple of weeks. Um,
Yeah, it has.
no, for context, Maddie, if you remember, had COVID two,
Yes,
3 months ago.
not even.
Not
It was
even.
literally about 6 weeks
This
ago.
week, she caught the flu, or what we think
I
is the flu,
did.
or a cold, and she was real bad.
Yes,
Um,
it was very. I genuinely, on Thursday night, I was laying in bed and I had a really fucking sore tummy because I low key had a lot of painkillers because I was
yeah,
so sick from the flu. But I didn't have enough food, and so I had a really sore tummy. Anyway, I was laying in bed about 10 p.m. at night, and Mum was laying with me because I was like, Mum, I need you to lay with me. And I was like, Mum, I think I'm dying. And
a
she was like, Are
mood.
you actually dying? And I was like, I think I'm really dying. And she was like, Should we go to the hospital? And I was like, Okay, well, I'm not that kind of dying, but
Iconic.
like, I am dying. Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
me with a stub toe. Um,
Oh, literally.
yeah, look, sometimes you just need a mum cuddle. That's all. Okay?
Oh, truly. We were laying on the lounge watching Stranger Things, and I was like crying because I was so tired and in so much pain. And I was like, Mommy, can I cuddle you? And she was like, You want to cuddle me? I was like, Yes, please. She's like,
Iconic.
Okay.
I love
Yeah.
it. Uh, yeah. So Maddie's been having a rough couple months with the sicknesses
I
and the
know.
plagues and such. Um, and then I had the flu last week actually,
Also, yes, had a
and
bad cold.
literally as I was just getting better, like out of it, Maddie started to get sick.
Mm. Yeah.
That was interesting. I
Maybe I
think I
got it from
passed it on
you,
to
even
you
though I didn't see
virtually.
you.
Yeah. Um, but anyway, the elephant in the room this week is that we haven't recorded in 2 weeks, and I
No,
don't think we'd
despite the
recorded.
fact that some good shit went down last
A lot of good
week.
shit went down, but I was feeling like shit last weekend, I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, um, yeah, so the Elephant in the Room is we haven't recorded in 2 weeks. And I don't think we
Mm.
recorded for 2 weeks before last time's episode either.
Whoop.
So I'm committed. I apologize, and I'm committed to getting back on schedule.
Well, I absolutely am forcing you this week to watch Jurassic World and Top Gun. I'm keen to see both of those movies, and so we're gonna do that this week, and then we're gonna review them this coming weekend. In my opinion, that's what's happening.
And just do I have to? I don't want to see either of those.
Are you serious?
Yes, I told you this.
Top Gun. Yeah. I know you don't really want to see Top Gun, and that's fair. I won't force you to see that, but I'm going
I
to see
mean,
it.
I'm more
You
interested
really
in
don't even want to watch Jurassic World?
Top Gun
You don't
than
want to
I
see
am
that
in
shit
Jurassic
show?
World.
Wait, seriously?
Well, Top Gun has phenomenal reviews and is meant to be like one of the greatest movies of all time. Top Gun 2. The original Top Gun, by the way, has bad reviews.
Do you know, I actually watched it this week while I was being sick.
Fully
Maybe
decaying.
it was before when I was having some time off. Oh, it was because fucking that's when Jack had his seizure in the middle of Top Gun. I was
Oh my God.
I was having a day off, and I was like, I'm gonna watch so many movies today. Fucking halfway through the first goddamn movie I was watching, Jack got sick and I had to take him to the vet. Like this little shit face. Anyway, sorry, that
Jack's
was
her dog, by the way. One of her dogs.
Oh yeah.
And he's a little bit evil, but in the most loving way possible.
He is, and he also he just cannot help himself. He just eats everything, and I mean literally everything. Like
Iconic.
name an inanimate object, and Jack has eaten it at some point.
I love.
Anyway, and so he clearly ate something over the weekend, and then he had a seizure, and I had to take him to the vet. But it wasn't that serious. It sounds more serious than it is. Anyway, I was watching Top Gun.
Yes.
And I was like, this movie isn't as good as I remember it being. It's kind of stupid.
Interesting.
Mostly because it was kind of just this like really big long character piece, but the characters kind of weren't that interesting. And then I was like, I actually think this movie might be a romance movie. It's like dressed up in an action plot. But of course they didn't pull the romance off very well. And funnily enough, despite the fact that the power balance was she was the one who was like his teacher, it still felt like he was the one who was like manipulating her. And that's okay. Like a unique.
The love interest is Jennifer Connelly, right?
No.
No.
No, I don't think so.
Jennifer Connelly age. Jennifer Connelly?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
Oh my God. Have I been thinking Top Gun is a different movie for my entire life?
What's her name? She's in the second one.
So it's Jennifer Connelly?
No, but not in the First Lady.
Penny?
The First Lady is Kelly McGillis.
Oh. Kelly?
Anyway, she's like a teacher at the academy that he's at.
Kelly is that the actor's name?
Yeah, the actress, yeah. She's not in the second one.
Oh. Top Gun, 1986. Kelly McGillis. She's 64.
Is she really?
And Tom Cruise is 59. Interesting. So the age difference isn't even a thing that would make the power imbalance be weird. Do you think it's just because Tom Cruise is kind of secretly like a lizard man alien? So it's like uncomfortable vibes?
I mean, I think it could be that, but I actually think it was 1986 and they thought that it was sexy to have men coerce women into going on dates with them.
You know what? That brings it back to the movie Moonshot that we're going to review this week.
Yeah.
Which is basically the plot of the movie starring Lana Condor and Cole Sprouse, so...
Bro, that movie was fucked up.
It was a lot. We'll get to that, though. No, I'm really intrigued by Top Gun that the original could be considered... I feel like it's only considered a classic because it was like a technical showpiece.
I would agree with that.
of effects and shit.
Yeah.
And then in this one, it seems like they've, I don't even know, made a character study kind of thing, which I'm intrigued by.
Yeah.
But it also stars Miles Teller, who gives me the ick.
Same. He gives me the ick too. For some, well, I actually think it's because of Fantastic Four. Personally, that's why I don't
Oh,
really like
interesting.
him. It's like he's never been able to redeem himself since then, in my
Iconic.
eyes. Um, but everyone's like been fawning over him on TikTok since
I
this
know.
movie came out, and I'm like, does people's opinion change because of this movie? Because I'm intrigued. I'm interested to have my opinion changed. I don't see how it could, but
I mean, I
he's
guess.
gonna be really hard. And
He's given me the ick
anyway,
since, like, Divergent, though. I don't know why. I can't explain it.
so fair, so fair.
I feel like there's
Mm,
there's many instances of him being mean to cast and crew on set,
interesting.
like thinking he's hot shit. But anyway, that's beside the point. So
Well, look,
yes,
I'm forcing you to watch one of those movies with me this week. I don't care which one, whichever one you want to see most, we will go and see together, and that's what we will review next week. Oh, I guess we can see them separately.
I mean, I will watch both with you at some point, whenever you want. I'm not saying I want to, but I will. Talking about women coercing men into doing things they don't want to do. Okay,
A gender reversal.
can I get a Maddie's
Amen.
problematic?
We've been new.
We've been
Let's be
there.
real.
um,
Speaking
since
of
when are
being
the
problematic,
corners on the Zoom boxes curved?
maybe this was in the latest update.
Yeah, I was complaining to Maddie before we started that Zoom, I feel like, sends out a new update every fucking day and you're always updating. Anyway,
Genuinely.
so yes, I'm
Like,
intrigued by Top Gun because this one's getting such phenomenal reviews, and I'm curious as to whether or not nostalgia has given
yeah.
people a different opinion
Yeah.
on what the original actually was.
Have you
I don't
seen
think
the
I'm
original?
articulating that well. I haven't.
Oh, interesting. See, do you know what happens in it at all?
No. He flies
Honestly,
planes.
it's like bare minimum plot. There's like, yeah. So he and his friend Goose get sent. Because I'm mostly just thinking out loud about why people liked it so much. So
Well,
he and his friend Goose get basically sent to this flight academy called Top Gun, where they're like the best of the best
for the
in
military?
the well, yes, but specifically for the flying people, the Air Force. Um, they get sent to
Right.
learn how to do a specific type of flying dogfighting because it's not really what they do anymore. Anyway, and then there's kind of like, I think that's the Russians. I mean, I would assume because it's 1986, but the Russians are kind of
Come on,
in it
Stranger Things
a little bit,
vibes. Come on, 2022
right?
vibes.
But only like really vaguely. It's like right at the beginning, they kind of have a bit of a fight against a couple of Russian potentially planes. I don't think they actually say, and they do a little bit at the end too. But mostly it's about them being in this flight academy. He falls in love with his teacher, but right towards the end, spoiler for you, Nicholas, but probably not for everyone else on the planet because it's 40
Does
years
Goose
old.
die?
Um, yeah, Goose dies.
Why?
In an accident, in a training accident. Um, their plane basically malfunctions and crashes, and as they go to eject from the plane, Goose hits his head on the canopy and he dies. Anyway, but it's really tragic.
That sounds like a
And like
melodrama.
literally, and so the whole like final third of the film is Tom Cruise like dealing with all of his like guilt around that and trying to get back into flying. So it
So they
truly
just
is. Like
switch
I don't know
plots
why
two
people.
thirds of the way through.
Well, the Russians aren't like they're like honestly out of the 1 hour and 30-minute or 40-minute runtime, the Russians only take up like 10 minutes. Most of the plot is him learning how to do this dog fighting thing and kind of like
Right.
stop being so arrogant and cocky because he thinks he's the best. He's actually not the best. They state multiple times in the film that he's not the best there at the academy. So it's really wild. Fuck. It's really wild. And it truly is. Like, I don't fucking have no idea why people are like, oh my God, this is the greatest action movie. It's like, this is not an action movie.
Fascinating. Yeah, because I asked my
Yeah.
parents why why they love it so much or loved it so much. I don't know when the last time they watched it was, but they always say it's a great movie. And they both said that it's just like the technical stuff and the audio design, like the surround sound and shit, is
Interesting.
really, really good. And they never actually say
Oh,
anything about the movie itself. So I don't know.
interesting. I mean,
Anyway,
the technical stuff is quite impressive. There's a lot of yeah, no, it is quite impressive.
mm, yeah, no, I'm
But
intrigued by why this movie is being so well received
hmm,
critically, financially, and all that.
yeah,
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 so I'm
same.
intrigued by that, which is why I'll see it. And then Jurassic World 3,
Oh, it looks so bad.
I've not been quiet about how much I hated the second Jurassic World movie.
I mean, who has? It was atrocious.
The first half hour of that movie was quite good, of them rescuing
When they were on the
dinosaurs.
island,
Yeah.
yeah, that was good.
And then it completely, for the rest of the movie, the other 2 hours of runtime, switched plots
Stupid.
to a haunted house movie, but instead of ghosts, it's dinosaurs
Yeah,
stalking a little girl who's actually a clone the whole time.
yeah.
I
I still
just.
do not give a shit about that little girl, and I think
No.
it just takes a special kind of movie to make me actively feel very passive about a child character because children are
Yeah.
literally so cute.
Yeah. No, you're totally right. They have to actively be doing something bad. They
Yeah,
have to actively be
yeah,
making us dislike the child character
yeah,
for us to
unlikable.
not like
Yeah,
empathize with them or sympathize for them or whatever.
exactly. I
Um,
know. Right at the
yeah,
end,
you're
she
right.
reveals that she's a clone and whatever, and you're like, oh, and she's like
Okay.
upset about it, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. I don't care.
I mean, the most relatable bit is that she has like an existential crisis about being a clone.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, okay, Queen, that I can relate to. Existential crises,
Legit.
check. Um,
And that she loves Bryce Dallas Howard. And I'm also like, yeah, I'd also run
I
for
don't
her.
remember that, but I agree.
What a queen.
Um,
Yeah.
no, this movie is also a fucking wild one. The third one in that it's gotten horrific critical reviews. It's like the worst scored out of all the Jurassic Park movies.
Stop. Is it really?
It's like
Even
30% on
considering
Rotten Tomatoes.
no fucking way. That's so fucking funny because the third Jurassic Park movie, I genuinely think is one of the worst movies made of all time.
I saw a clip on Twitter today that was a transition editing moment in Jurassic Park 3 that was just wild. And I'll try and find it now. But anyway, the reason this movie confuses me is because it's got like 30% on Rotten Tomatoes, it's been badly received, but then the audience score is like A minus levels of quality. Like the audiences are generally enjoying it.
I
Um,
mean, I'm not surprised. That probably just means it's a really stupid movie, but like just
yeah.
fun and stupid.
And then I found it.
Okay.
It's doing pretty well financially as well, so I'm like,
Hmm.
I don't know, I'm intrigued by it, but apparently it's just stupid and not good, which doesn't surprise me after the second Jurassic World. Which, by the way, I really enjoyed the first Jurassic World.
Yeah, same.
I feel like,
How did that do
yes,
critically?
pretty well. The best out of the trilogy,
Hmm. But
by
like,
far.
was it actually received well or
I think so. It made a fuck
just
ton of money
well
as well,
compared to
so.
the others? Yeah. Because I quite liked that one. Like I recognized that it was stupid. I was probably like it obviously wasn't as well put together as the original Jurassic Park movie, but I thought it was personally better
Oh,
than
I mean, it was a carbon copy of the original Jurassic Park, but that's kind of why it worked.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But I thought it was better than the second Jurassic and the third Jurassic Park movies. So
Interesting.
like the way I would rank them is Jurassic Park 1, Jurassic World, Jurassic Park 2, Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World 2.
Yes.
Personally.
I would agree with that.
But
I'd agree with that. Mm,
yeah, I don't know. I just wonder like whether or not people, critics specifically, are expecting this movie to be like a masterpiece in storytelling,
yeah.
which is why they're disappointed, or if it's just going to be fun and stupid, in which case I'm cool with fun and stupid, you know? As long as it's not like stupid, stupid.
Yeah.
Like Moonshot.
See, I feel like I think typically critics acknowledge when a movie is stupid but entertaining.
Hmm.
Whereas this one, I feel like they're kind of just saying it's not good, meaning boring
Mm.
bad, not fun bad.
Interesting. That would be really disappointing. And it probably, I mean, again, considering we're talking about nostalgia and stuff with Top Gun, with all the original characters coming back with this movie, it's probably why audiences are so forgiving of it, just because they're like, oh my God, original characters.
Yeah.
Anyway, I can't believe we've just talked about those things for like 15 minutes and we haven't even seen them yet.
I know. Imagine us talking for 20 minutes about movies we haven't even seen. Honestly, makes sense for us. I don't know. Can you
Literally.
hear this?
Yes,
Okay.
I can.
I don't know how to do this then. Okay, for audio listeners, I'm sorry you're not going to get to witness this. That's just a you problem. But wait, I'll do this.
Wait, what is this from again? Oh, the background score. Interesting.
Did you get that?
I don't get it. I don't get it.
It's a
I
transition
mean, I
scene
saw
in
it.
Jurassic Park 3,
Yeah, yeah.
and people were dying about it
And
on
it was
Twitter
iconic.
because it's just so badly done and it's so dumb and stupid for a movie that's meant to be serious. For audio listeners, it's a clip of a woman on a beach seeing something horrific and screaming, and that scream transitions into a shot of Jeff Goldblum yawning with the screen playing over the top, and he's got a tropical island vibes in the background, and then he walks away and he's actually just in front of a tropical island poster in a subway station, and everyone was like,
Mm.
"This is so stupid. Why?"
I mean, yes, but iconic.
And I agree. Um, my one memory about Jurassic World 3, Park 3, sorry, is
I'm actually pretty sure that's from the second one.
okay, well the second
He
one,
wasn't in
whatever.
the third one.
The third one brings back Alan Grant, doesn't it?
It does.
The second one. My memory of the second one that I have is the second one the one that's just Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah.
I think it's that one. um, is I watched it for the first time ever on Cartoon Network when I was a kid, and they had to edit out the words shit and stuff.
Iconic.
So I remember that they edited it really badly, and there was like a scene where Jeff Goldblum sees a dinosaur, and it's like a zoomy shot into his face, and he's like, "Oh shit!"
No.
But Cartoon Network cut it off as "Oh sh,"
Iconic.
and then that was it. So that's my one memory about the
Love
movie.
that. That's iconic.
Hmm. Anyway, let's move on to actual entertainment news.
Okay.
Okay, a lot. Happy Pride Month, a lot
A lot
topped.
happened.
This topic.
So much has happened today.
Okay,
Really.
well let's start with that because this topic that we're going to talk about is Liam Payne. And last
Ugh.
episode we talked about him, and the day we published it, we we talked about him cheating on his
Yeah.
fiance,
Fiance.
whatever, and his fans accidentally outing him to her as a
Yeah.
cheater. So that was the last thing we talked about on the last episode. And then the day we posted the episode, he did
Hmm.
this interview podcast on Logan Paul's podcast of all the
Absolutely
places,
unhinged.
and made the entire internet hate him.
Hmm.
Rightfully so.
Yes. Yeah. It was a wild, wild podcast in which he made some very outrageous claims.
Well, do you remember them? Because I have notes.
Well, you go through the notes because I can only remember the two,
Interesting.
but I'm sure there's like
So
a lot
the
more.
most important bits that they talked about, I've tried to take note of,
Okay.
and that is Liam Payne made multiple comments about Zayn, and he called Zayn a dick
Yes.
and tried to he didn't even insinuate. He basically said that it was Zayn's upbringing is why he's a dick,
Yeah,
which I feel like is uncalled for because if it's something
interesting.
Zayn hasn't talked about publicly, I feel like it's kind of a dick move to
Yeah,
talk about such personal aspects of someone's lives without their permission to the public.
yeah,
I don't know. And that seemed to be the general
that's true.
consensus, but you're the One Direction stan from 2012. Did you ever fans
2012, try 2010 till now.
well yeah, I mean started in. Now I'm a 1D fan. Did you in the fandom did the fandom ever have an inkling that Zayn and Liam disliked each other?
Definitely not. But I would also say that I feel like I saw a TikTok about this, obviously, when all this kind of went down, and I feel like it really encapsulates the problem really well. Is that the fandom was so focused on making all of the five of them feel and seem and be equal.
Right.
Um, so it was like a really big thing in the fandom to be like you have to like all of like you can have your fave, but you like all of them
Yeah.
equally. All of them contribute equally to the band. None of them are like better than the others.
Interesting.
And so I think that probably, I mean, the context of the TikTok I saw was talking about how that for some of them has kind of it probably uplifted them, whereas in others, Liam
Yeah.
it kind of gave them like an inflated sense of their actual abilities.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, because
Yeah.
the next things that I took note of was Liam claimed that he's the reason One Direction exists because
Mm,
Simon Cowell formed the band around him, which and that he was the front man, he was the center of the band, is what Liam
mm.
said. So they're kind of two separate claims, and I think the easiest claim to debunk is that obviously Liam Payne was not the front man, the center of the band. It was clearly Harry Styles, and still is.
Well, I see. This is really funny because I disagree a little bit with that because I actually do think like if we're talking about the actual proper inception of the band,
No, we're not. We're
I
talking about
do.
the claim that he was the front man of the band, meaning he was the number one member, the best member, the
I mean,
center member that revolved
see,
around.
no, but see, I think that I actually do think that like originally at the inception, Simon Cowell was like, yes, Liam is the one. He's the one who I think is uh um like the most ready to be famous.
You
And
said
then
that,
within about
yeah.
4 weeks of
I
X
mean,
Factor starting, they were like, oh, this is not true. But I don't think anyone told Liam that. And so I think for some reason in his head, he's continued on to not fucking realize that everyone changed and was like, no, Harry is the front man. He's the one that everyone likes. He's the most charismatic. And
yeah, that's
Liam,
what I'm saying though.
for some reason, just continued to think that because at one point Simon said, yes, you're going to be the one we make the band around, that continued to be the truth when it
Yeah,
wasn't.
no, that's what I'm saying is I believe, like you said originally, the band was built around Liam because apparently he had like a thing with
Yeah.
Simon Cowell where they
Yeah.
were like bros and shit. Um,
He'd been on the show before, I think, when he was younger, my
oh, okay,
understanding.
there you go. And the um, but the claim that he remained the front man and the
Oh,
number one
yeah.
member is what I had
Yeah,
an
no.
issue with because it was clearly not him.
No, it very clearly wasn't. And again, literally by the time they finished X Factor, it clearly wasn't. Like, it's not like it got 2 years in and they did a
Interesting.
pivot. It was like fucking 4 weeks in, you
Iconic.
know?
That's pretty
Yeah.
iconic. Interesting. So yes,
Mm.
they were wild claims. The next one was honestly quite funny. It was that Liam insisted that his first solo song outsold the others,
I
which is so fucking
see,
funny
and
to me.
there's actually two layers to this because what he said was a billion streams and it outsold everyone. And it's like, firstly, you didn't get a billion streams, and secondly, it didn't outsell everyone. So there's like two fucking lies there. Like,
Yeah,
who's telling you this shit?
Literally,
What,
it
do you
feels
not
like,
check yourself? Like, who has told you, yeah, you got a billion streams? Like, that's fucking different from a million, you know? Like, that's not something you can get confused in your head. So,
yeah,
who has told him a billion streams?
yeah, literally. I
What?
do not know,
Oh,
but it made me giggle. And they, fans and shit were like posting all over social media the actual stats.
yeah, it's very
And
funny.
according to chart data, the One Direction members' solo entries on the Billboard 200 were number one and number one. Blah, 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 blah. This is an actual streaming numbers. So streaming numbers, it was actually Harry and then
Mm.
Zayn, and then I
Mm.
think Liam on that one song, Strip That Down or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Um, but album wise on the charts,
Yeah.
which is what really cracks me up, is that Zayn's first album that went number one on the Billboard 200 album chart. Harry's first
Mhm.
album did. Harry's second album did. Niall's first album went number one on the
Yeah.
album 200. Niall's second album went number four. Louis went number nine. Zayn's second album went number 61. And Liam Payne's first album, solo album called LP1, debuted at 111. It didn't even crack the top 100 when his other bandmates were cracking the first number one, you know? I don't know. It cracks me up that he thought he was doing something.
Well, I think that the most, like, again, genuinely obscene thing about what he's saying is not even that it's a lie, because it is a lie and we all can fucking easily tell.
Yeah.
But it's that he wouldn't say that, because why would anyone say that if they didn't genuinely believe
Yeah.
it? So, like, is that, did he not know that his album only went to
Yeah.
111? Did he not know that everyone else's album went to
Yeah.
fucking top 10? Like,
I feel like,
like, I genuinely don't get it.
yeah, no, you're right. It's one of two options. It's either his team tells him that he's number one, no matter what,
Yeah.
or he refuses to hear anything else about any of his other ex bandmates, meaning even if his team told him he debuted at number 111, he doesn't know where everyone else debuted and doesn't care,
Yeah.
you know?
But then, yeah, and then why would he go on and make claims about how he was better than everyone? It just, I genuinely don't fucking
Insane.
get it. Like,
Insane.
it blows my mind. It
Mm.
blows my mind.
Yes.
Wow.
And then the
So
last two
that,
claims that he
oh yeah.
made, I feel like, of the most dramatic claims he made, I should say, I feel like probably go hand in hand, but that's hearsay. I don't actually know that. Um, so he claimed that a member of One Direction threw him against a wall and
Oh,
pinned him
uh-huh. Yeah.
against it. And the
And
actual
he,
clip, you have to go look at the clip because the clip's fucking funny as hell. Liam Payne's talking on the Logan Paul podcast, and he says
mm.
one of my bandmates threw me up against a wall and pinned me to it with his arm, and in his like fancy, privileged little uh like
accent.
accent, British accent, he goes, and I told that man, if you don't take your hands off me, you're not going to have them anymore.
He'll never use them again
You'll
or
never
something
use
like
them
that.
again. And when I tell you, everyone on video on that podcast was like, ooh. I was like, what? That wasn't intimidating. That wasn't scary. That wasn't manly. What was that?
Well, I think the thing about it is that when someone just out of the blue makes these claims about somebody else's aggression,
Hmm.
and then they like build themselves up as like matching that aggression, it's like,
Yeah.
but we don't. That's not manly, because you've just fucking made up some random story, and we don't believe you. Like,
Yeah.
if for some reason we'd heard in the past that two bandmates had had a fight, and one of them, whatever, came out victorious, and then Liam is like, yeah, that was me and somebody else, and I said this and this is what happened, then I'd be like,
Yeah.
oh wow, that's kind of cool. But
Yeah.
he's just straight up
Yeah.
made up this fucking story
Yeah.
about how he's so aggressive and manly. It's like, what?
and has
What?
quippy one-liners like a superhero. Yeah.
Right? Right? Like, this is not a fucking TV show, man. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, why? Ugh. I think it's just the fact that
White boys.
he said that thinking he would sound so tough and shit
Literally.
shows how big his ego is. Because no
Oh,
self-respecting person would be like, I'm gonna tell this story about an almost punch-up I had with one of my friends, uh,
yeah.
and I'm gonna use this quippy one-liner that I may or may not have said,
Yeah.
and everyone's gonna think it's cool.
Yeah. Right. Right. And
So
it's
anyway,
fucking as if he said it anyway, to be honest.
I agree.
As if he
Um,
said it. Who do
the
you reckon it was? Because the amount of
well,
speculation about who the other person was, like, I genuinely have no idea who it could have been.
that's why I'm saying this next point goes hand in hand with the up against a wall thing.
Oh,
And
okay.
honestly, there's something sexual about being pinned against a wall. That's hot.
So true.
He also Liam also claims that Louis and him hated each other.
Hold on, sorry. Can you just give me 1 second?
I can. I'll just keep talking. Um,
Yeah, please do.
yeah, no, he claims that Liam, and Louis hated each other with like a burning passion the entire time they were in the band together because Liam claims that he was the shy, quiet, goody two shoes, never got into trouble, never partied boy, and Louis was the wild card, always partying, doing all of the substances, like getting all the chicks, going out partying, going crazy, and that because their two personalities were so opposite, they hated each other and were always fighting,
Yep,
which is a wild thing to say publicly.
it is a wild thing to
Um,
say publicly.
and that's why I'm saying I think there's a possibility that that and the pinned against the wall thing could be arm in arm,
Yeah. I
even
mean,
though
that's
that's
true.
a complete. I have no evidence to back this up, but I feel like him hating a band member and him saying that just after claiming that someone threw him up against a wall, I feel like a correlation could be seen. You know?
That does actually make complete sense. And I did see a video resurface of it was Liam and
No,
Zane fighting on stage.
really?
And obviously at the time everyone thought it was like play fighting, and then the commentary about it at the moment is was this a real fight?
Oh,
So yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
So yeah, that entire thing was wild. I don't know why he felt the need.
Me
They've
either.
all
So the thing that's happened
Well, no, of course.
today.
The thing I'm like confused about is the fact that it seems as though the five bandmates all made a pact to not say anything disparaging about each other in public or not talk about each other's lives in public. And then Liam just threw all that away. Um,
Well, it's really true. I mean, considering like, yeah, I don't know because even if they didn't, it's like there's a fucking reason that no one knows what actually went down
mm,
in those 5 years. There's a reason why no one has spoken about it.
mm,
Um, and so why would he be so disrespectful?
yeah,
And and yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. And there's a difference between like, we kind of get snippets from the other boys of being like, it wasn't as kind of as enjoyable as it all kind of seemed to be in terms of like the
yeah,
restrictions that they had placed on them by their management and stuff.
yeah,
And like that's one thing, and they all haven't, they've generally been kind of like tight-lipped about it. And that's one thing, but to actively like be out here and slandering the other people in the band, it's a bit like, well, what are you doing?
yeah,
Why would you do that?
mm,
Like, well, that's just like putting aside the fact that it's unprofessional.
hmm.
It's fucking mean, you know.
No, I totally agree.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah. Anyway.
and I, and I think especially because none of the other band members have gone into a depth like this instance, uh,
Yeah.
it very much came across as attention-seeking, clout-chasing kind of thing.
Yeah, being petty. Yeah,
He just wanted to
it
be in
did.
the headlines again.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was his intention. I have to imagine so, but it came across that may no matter what. And yeah. So what you keep telling me that something's happened just today
Oh.
in this whole saga. Can you enlighten
So it
me?
was actually Zane posted on Instagram a snippet of a video of him singing this like extremely iconic high note from one of the One Direction songs.
Interesting.
Just like in a room with all of his like awards in the background. No caption, nothing. That was it. It's really fucking funny. I can play it for you if you want, but it's literally just. I'll show you.
Okay.
Ah, that's literally all it
Interesting.
is.
Big Frozen 2 vibes.
Well, it's like got a blue filter over it too,
Oh, that
forever.
too. There you
Um,
go.
but it's like, I mean, everyone has immediately run back to TikTok to kind of talk about it and be like, not Zayn pulling out the most
Pulling out.
iconic note, right, of One Direction's career in front of all of his awards, being like, sorry, what? You outsold all the members of the band?
Interesting.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
people think it's him saying,
His
"Here's
like
the proof. Here's the
retaliation.
receipts that I outsold, and
Yeah,
here's me showcasing the actual pure talent I have."
literally. And I also
Interesting.
think it's quite funny because Zayn, like, he left first, obviously.
Yeah.
In what was that? Fucking, oh my God, that's like 7 years ago now.
I think like 2014, 2015.
2015 it was, March 25th, 2015. I would
Can I
know.
tell
I
you
cried on my way to
exactly
school.
how I found out about that?
Sure, please do.
I was at. Do you know Miranda Sings, the YouTuber? Like Colleen
Yeah.
Ballinger, Miranda Sings, the character she plays.
Hmm.
I was at a Miranda Sings comedy show
Hmm.
in Brisbane at the Powerhouse, actually, where we went the other week. Um,
Hmm.
because it was that time when YouTubers were the shit. I went and saw like the Tyler Oakley show, the Miranda Sings show, like a couple others. Anyway, during the show, Miranda Sings slash Colleen Ballinger had a segment where she pretended she had this big, basically giant cardboard faces of all the members of One Direction like stuck together, and this was
Iconic.
Miranda Sings' audition to join the band, and she cut a hole in another piece of cardboard and stuck her face through it, and that was like the
Love that.
sketch, I guess. Um, but in this one particular one, she was doing it, and Zayn's face head was on the end, and it fell off, and she was like gagged because today of all days is the day when Zayn announced he was leaving the
Iconic.
group, and it's the same night that my cardboard cutout of One Direction
Fails.
broke
Yeah.
and snapped off Zayn. Um, and it was kind of iconic, but also that's how I found out. So, Miranda Sings
Wow.
on
There you
YouTube. There
go.
you go.
That's pretty iconic.
Mm.
Um, yeah, that was a traumatic day. Do you know, it was actually, I went and saw their stadium tour that year. It was only about 2 weeks before he left. So we were one of the last people to see all five of them perform together. I know, it was
Interesting. Did he
fucking, it was
stop in the middle
wild.
of like a tour?
Yeah, yeah, literally. They had like shows that weekend and he was like, no, I'm not doing them. I quit. Yeah. Yeah, it was wild. It was really, really wild.
Wild.
Um,
Did they
and then
go ahead with them?
the band broke up. Yeah, they went ahead with all of them. They just rearranged all the parts and they all sang Zayn's parts.
That's so
Um,
wild.
it was
I thought it was
wild,
in
and the
between
band.
albums.
Uh, no. Well,
Or in between
no.
tours, I should say.
I mean, it was, but sorry, what?
In between tours, I should say, not albums.
No, it was mid tour. It was mid
Wild.
fucking. It was actually right at the beginning of the tour. It was really wild.
And then was the next album with the four of them the last one?
Yes, it was. Yeah, because the band broke up only like 8 months later, at the end of 2015. So
Wasn't the last album with all five of them called Four? Because it was their fourth album?
yeah,
That's so funny.
yeah. Yeah, which had been, it had just kind of been released a couple of months before all this happened, and they were doing a tour.
For
It
that
was a
album,
mix
yeah,
of the
yeah.
third and fourth album. Yeah, here in Australia, it was a mix of the third and fourth because they hadn't done a tour for the third
Right.
album, so it was like a weird. And then yeah, as they were trying to transitioning into it being a tour for the fourth one, he fucked off. Anyway, fuck, what was I saying? Yeah, so he left at the beginning of 2015, and he like
Mm.
doesn't talk about it at all. Like I genuinely don't remember a time where he's ever really referenced the fact that he was in One Direction. So the fact that he just like fully straight up was like, yeah, I'll sing part of the song
Yeah.
is like also just kind of revolutionary in and of itself. Like Harry talks about all the time. We went and
Yeah.
saw his concert. He performed like 3 songs of
Mm.
theirs, whereas Zayn just like pretend it doesn't exist. So
Yeah. That's wild.
wild, truly wild.
So, like, with context, it's very obvious that he's saying something without saying something.
Yeah, pretty
Gotcha.
much.
Gotcha.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Um,
Speaking of songs,
Speaking of
did
songs,
you see that Taylor Swift released um an alternate version of All Too Well 10-minute version today,
no.
which was well, what she released the version from the music video, the short film. So it kind of like it has a
What?
different ending, it has a different fade out, and it has a really long break in the middle, a long instrumental in the middle. It's wild.
Why?
I
Does it
don't
have the audio of the music video in it?
No, it doesn't. Like where they have the fight, it just goes into a really long instrumental, and then at the end, you know how in the 10-minute version she does that fade out where she's just basically sings "Just Between Us,
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
Remember" like
Yeah.
for 2 minutes. It goes back to one of the other verses and um redoes that verse and fades out with
Wild.
that. I know it is really wild.
I'll have to listen.
Oh my god! Imagine me having news that you didn't
I
know
know,
about.
it's really interesting, isn't it?
Truly.
um,
The other piece of news that I have for today, if
you
I
have
can
more?
that I know, I have so many, and this one is like wild. I don't really know what to say about it other than just to bring it up because it's wild.
Hmm.
Um, so you know, you might not, but you might know. Recently, at some point, I don't know, Chris Evans did that interview where he was like talking to a reporter on a red carpet, and they were talking about him having a moustache or a beard, and he did like he said to the reporter like, "Go on, tell me" or something. It was really hot
Yeah.
and like really.
It was in his like Boston accent. It was like 2 days ago at the premiere, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Um. Anyway, and so TikTok has generally been losing their minds over it because it's really sexy.
It is,
Well,
yes.
Lizzo did you see Lizzo's video?
I saw a TikTok that she did. Oh, why can't I remember it?
Yeah, and she the wildest. It's wild that she. Sorry, I've opened TikTok. It's wild that she even did a video of her reacting to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was it a Stitch? Yeah.
Well, it was like her twerking over the footage, but she wrote this little ditty and she fucking used an ableist slur in it. It was wild. It was absolutely wild. She might have deleted it by now.
No, it's a
Has
song.
she?
She just released a new
It's
song off her new album called Girls, and it's got the ableist slur in it.
truly wild, though. Well, then there you go. Oh, yeah, it is. It's from her.
Yeah.
Wild. I read down the comments and all of it was like, that's a slur. Take the slur out. Like, truly, generally,
Yeah.
very insane. Do you want to watch the video?
Yeah.
Because it's kind of funny.
I've definitely seen it, but I can't remember it. Yeah, I've seen this. You have a text.
Truly wild. Absolutely, completely wild.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers to that. Um, the layers that I'm gonna mention are that she's thirsting over Chris Evans publicly again. Iconic, relatable, all that. But she just
Huh?
announced she has a boyfriend the other day by doing a red carpet with him.
Iconic.
So that's pretty iconic. And the other thing is, yeah, I don't know how that got through uh, all layers of production and
I know, right?
music high executives and shit before being released and them not noticing that there's an ableist slur in it.
I
But
know.
I will
Truly
say,
wild.
apparently in America, it's very much not so offensive.
That's also wild.
Yeah, in America, I don't think it's being used in the same context as it has in like Australia and the UK and stuff. I think
Yeah.
it's very much, yeah. But having said that, I think the fact that she's a worldwide artist and distributors around the world, and still no one picked up on the fact that that was in there. I don't know. I think that's still very much a very
Oh,
bad oversight, and I can't
oh
imagine
yeah.
she won't re-release it before the album comes out. Um,
She must be going to. Like
I think
that's
she will.
like I mean, I hadn't heard anything about this song before literally seeing that video. Um, I didn't even know it was one of her songs. I thought she just like wrote a little
Mm.
snippet for as a reaction to that for Seven thing. But like again, there's like 70,000 comments, and basically all of them are like, "What the fuck?" So
Yeah, yeah, no,
yeah,
it's wild that in 2022
they're
stuff like that
wild,
can still slip past
right?
all of the release. What's the word?
Right?
Approvals. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. And like I get sometimes not knowing that a slur is a slur. Like I get not being across like every single different type of
Yeah,
uh
yeah, yeah,
offensive word. But like that's a pretty commonly like common and obvious one that's been
yeah,
like actively been trying to be corrected for a really long time.
yeah. No, I
Weird.
agree. I think it's one of those cases where there was no ill intention,
Yeah.
but it needs to be rectified anyway. You know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes. Whack. And I'm only laughing because it's just like genuinely just so wild to me.
No, I
It's
agree.
just wild,
She's
yeah.
not like a male rapper whose thing is to be like aggressive with all the stuff. She's not Eminem, you know.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah,
is very
exactly.
left field for something
Yeah,
coming
for
from
sure.
her.
For sure. Wow. Anyway, that's all I got.
Yeah,
So what are
no,
your
that
things?
was. I have the same thing written down. Not about the TikTok though. I'm glad you brought in Chris Evans being hot because it's always a topic I want to talk
So
about.
true.
Um,
Really.
I have a pitch to make you,
Okay.
and you're gonna say no,
Mhm.
but during the week, not this week, last week, I was writing down the fact that the Percy Jackson show has started to film,
How's it
right?
really? How
It
exciting.
started filming, they like rounded out a lot of the cast. Um, Honestly, quite an iconic cast. Megan Mullally is playing Mrs. Dobbs, the
Iconic.
teacher slash
Fury.
Harpy. Harpy?
Harpy. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, she's playing
Yeah.
her, and that's an actress that I absolutely adore. Some iconic cast members. And I was thinking, and I was like, I really want to reread the books. Should we
Mhm.
start a Percy Jackson book club where we once a month do one book a month and then talk about it on the podcast each month, and we get people to read along with us online? And then I was like, what
I'm
if we
in.
did a movie and TV adaptation book podcast, book club podcast, where we look at all the movies and shows releasing in the year, and we pick out 12, and like, you have to read one book a month and then talk about it before the movie comes out.
I mean, I'm not opposed.
I feel like that's a genius idea,
One a month. I could swing one a month.
right?
I'm in.
Should we do that as a completely separate podcast?
Yes.
Iconic. Maybe we'll do it as like a special episode once a month.
We could do that too.
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm
that would
very into
probably
this
make more
idea,
sense,
mostly
but
because I just really want to reread um,
Percy Jackson.
Percy Jackson. And I saw that the movie where the Crawdads sing is coming out, which is based
Hmm.
on like an insanely popular book, and Taylor Swift
Hmm.
has a new song in it and stuff. So I'm intrigued by that.
Same.
That's not on that. That's my entire pitch, is that we should start a book club. Bring back book clubs.
Okay.
Who says they're only for
I'm
middle-aged women
down.
in the mid-2000s?
I'm down. I love the idea of a book club.
Cute,
But
eh?
yeah. I don't know if
Now we
I'll
just have to
vibe with it
actually do
because I
it.
don't do very well with being told what to do. And so being told what book to read will only make me not want to read it.
You're insane. If you have a deadline, you will. Um,
Well,
you
yeah,
will.
maybe.
Um, uh,
Because I'm being held accountable to you, Daddy. So.
Also, well, I was gonna say, imagine you saying you don't be like being told what to do, as if I don't know
Okay, I like
exactly what you're into.
I like being told what to do in specific circumstances, and those
Mm-hmm.
circumstances are sex. In case anyone didn't pick up on the implication there.
No, it was way too subtle. That's
Yeah,
what we're
yeah.
known for on this podcast, is being subtle.
Every other situation, if someone tells me what to do, I'm like, well, clearly I'm not going to do that now.
This
To
is
be honest,
fair.
that's actually what I do during sex as well.
What?
Called being a brat.
Oh. Go off, Queen. She said, I'm going to come on this podcast and educate the people.
Exactly.
Um,
Kink education. That's my
okay, I
jam.
have a few more topics we can talk about relatively quickly. I already know that one of them is going to be a rant, so
Okay. Love that.
I'll try and do the others first. One
Okay.
is that Todd Phillips, director of Joker, Joker, I think
Mm.
it's just called Joker, has finished a script and is officially being greenlit a sequel to Joker called Joker, Folie à deux, meaning craziness rubbing off on another person.
I don't vibe with that.
Meaning, people are assuming that the Joker 2 is gonna be about the romance between Joker and Harley Quinn. Um, and I'm just
I
not
don't
sure
vibe
I'm
with
ready
that
for
either.
another social discourse about how uh, people glorifying their relationship and saying it's relationship goals and shit, and then the other half of the
Yeah.
population saying, but that they're literally it's literal abusive. Whatever. Todd Phillips, please change your mind. Don't make this movie. Just let it be. Pick another villain. Do
Yeah.
something else. I don't give a fuck. Just don't
You
make
did
more
good.
Joker movies.
Please, for the love of God, don't make more Joker movies. We just don't need them.
Yeah. So that's one piece of news that I'm not
Another
happy
Joker
about.
movie will be my villain origin story.
T. And that's on period. I was trying to think of
Mm.
something to do with the Joker, but I don't even remember the movie. It was so. I really didn't enjoy it. I thought it was more harmful than anything.
Yeah,
Let's
I
not
agree.
backtrack. Anyway,
Yeah, right? Ugh.
um, have you seen the new Netflix show
No.
that's just come out on Friday? It's basically
First
been
kill?
trending on Twitter every day for the past 2 weeks leading up to release. Um, it's called First Kill,
Hmm.
and it's an 8 episode series about college age
Monster Hunters, right? Or
vampire
Vampire Hunters.
and vampire hunter lovers
Relationship. Yeah. Two
story
lesbian ladies, right?
to lesbian ladies, um, which is iconic
It is iconic.
and very much the representation we need. But I just wanted to point it out, um, because I'm obsessed with the fact that the the queer community was so excited for it that it's literally been trending every day for the past 2 weeks before it was released, and like that's what Pride Month's all really all about, you know? Lesbian vampires.
It's also pretty funny that they released it in Pride Month. Like,
That too.
Netflix were really like, if we've got to do this, let's get as much out of it as we can.
Yeah, too. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to watch it. I think the episodes are pretty long though, which doesn't excite me. But 8 episodes, I feel like it's manageable. I'm
I watched the
excited for it.
trailer and it looked stupid, but like Riverdale stupid, you know?
Oh no, I don't agree with that. I think it looks Vampire Diary stupid. You know, like
I never saw Vampire Diaries,
cheesy,
so.
but not so ridiculous it's bad.
Oh, really?
And frankly, I'm
Oh,
here
okay.
for
Well, I hope
cheesy
that's what it
queer
is.
romance. You know,
If
I
it's not
love that
actually
shit.
bad, tell me, and then I'll watch it.
Okay, because I feel like it is in your alley. Um, vampire hunter love story, iconic. Very
Mm.
much Camilla the book Camilla vibes and the web series. Do you remember the web series Camilla?
No.
It was massive on Tumblr and everything for like 3 years, from I think like 2013 to 15 or 16. I don't know. If you haven't watched it, it's worth a watch. It's like 3 to 5 minute episodes on YouTube called Camilla. Very gay, very iconic. That's all. 10 out of 10. Lesbian vampires. What's not to love?
Black.
Yeah. Okay. What was the next one? You're a Paddington stan. Did you see that Paddington did a special podcast episode with the Queen?
I did, in fact, but not because I'm a Paddington stan.
You are a Paddington stan.
I, I mean, I watched it once, and I did dub it the greatest movie of all time, but I haven't watched it since then.
Exactly. That makes you a Paddington stan. Okay. The Yeah, for context, the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, she acted in a sketch with Paddington, and it was very cute. Did you see it?
It was pretty cute, yeah.
I'm the last person to like praise the royal family and the monarchy and shit, but like it was very cute.
It was pretty cute. It was pretty cute. Yeah, it was cute.
It was cute.
I have so many questions. I genuinely am like, oh, okay, no, wait, this is not a royalty podcast. I was really going to go down the rabbit hole then about the monarchy and when is the queen going to abdicate, but
Should we start a royalty podcast called Royalty, where you educate me on them?
I feel like that's probably already a thing.
It almost certainly is, but you know,
Yeah,
there's no new ideas. Everything's already been done before.
so true, so true. Right,
So
what's the
I
next
just
one?
wanted to mention that to you because you're a Paddington stan, and that's not up for debate. Have you been watching anything else recently?
I finished Sherlock, and I'm currently rewatching Stranger Things with my family, but that's it.
Oh yeah, what are you up to in Stranger Things?
Oh, we just started season 3. I think we've watched 3 episodes now.
Nice,
I think, yeah, we're powering through.
nice.
Mum and Dad are about to go to Tasmania in 3 days, so I've got to try and get through as much as possible until then because I was like, once you guys go, I'm going on
Yeah.
without you.
Well, the final 2 episodes of season 4 come out July 1st,
Yeah,
so you
see,
guys should
I'm
make a goal
kind
to be
of,
caught up by then.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I feel like it's kind of ideal that we're rewatching it and it's taking so long because now I'm not going to have to wait a month or whatever
Yeah,
to
no,
see
totally.
the end.
We're me and my family are up to we're 3 episodes into season 4, the new season. So we finished our rewatch. Very much enjoyed it. In the 3 year break between seasons 3 and 4,
Mm.
I somehow forgot how much love I have for this show.
Yeah.
And rewatching it like reignited something in me, and I'm obsessed again, and I'm down the rabbit holes with all the theories, and I love it. And I think it's just such a fucking great show. But
It,
the only reason that I was able to binge watch the seasons 1 to 3 again so quickly is because, for the third time, by the way, I rewatch all the seasons before a new season comes out. But it's because Mum and I were the only two at home for like a week, and we binge
iconic.
watched the first 2 seasons in that week.
That's
Um,
iconic.
and then yeah, so that's the only reason I was able to watch so many episodes so quickly, because that's very much not like me. But I am happy to report, of the 3 episodes of season 3 I've watched, 2 of them were an hour 20 long.
Oof.
And you can't feel it. You don't feel it. They've done very well. There's no
Oh,
slow
that's good.
moments. The pacing is very, very good. So
I
I
mean, I didn't
feel
really doubt that because the show is very good. I just generally don't like having to
I
watch
doubted
an hour
it.
20 episode. Oh, I don't know. The show is really good.
It is really
It's very
good,
good
but
writing
even
and
good
style.
shows, when they stretch out content, get boring.
That's true. That's true. I didn't have, funnily enough, I didn't have doubt, which is like in how good it would kind of be.
Interesting.
I just didn't want to watch it. I mean,
but
I
yeah,
don't mind a long episode. I just don't want fucking 9 of them, you know?
yeah, fair. That's fair.
Mm.
But yeah, no, the new season, 3 episodes in, I'm very much enjoying it. Um, and the episode lengths aren't the problem that I thought they were going to be. So I'm at peace.
I think the thing that's particularly impressive about this show is two things, but it's kind of the same things because they're
Mm,
both about the character. Is that A, it balances an ensemble cast, I think, almost better than any other like
yeah,
movie or TV show I've ever seen in
yeah.
terms of the like give really equal screen time and dedication to every single different like group, and then they bring them together so well and always at the right
I
time.
agree. And I was in my head comparing it to Game of Thrones and stuff, the entire
Yeah,
rewatch. And I think what they do really well is that they spend enough time in the scripts, like in the pre-production process, they spend enough time ensuring that each group's separate story
yeah,
is of the same weight.
yes, yeah. It's really true.
So they all feel important. You don't get disappointed when it switches to another storyline
Yeah,
because you're invested in them all. Whereas I think things like Game of Thrones, where they have such an
yeah.
ensemble cast and they're splitting the stories, it was often,
Some
ugh,
things are more interesting than others.
now I have to
Yeah,
watch this storyline again for 5 minutes of
yeah,
this episode or whatever.
yeah, yeah,
Especially when there's like, and the fans hated one storyline so much that they just completely omitted Bran from the entirety of season 5.
oh my god, yeah, yeah,
Like, I feel like if you have to omit storylines from an entire season because the fans don't like it,
yeah.
or
You've got
not
a
not that they
problem.
don't like it, that they're bored with it, then you're not
Yeah,
balancing it properly. You know, you're not giving the same weight to all of the
yeah,
storylines.
for sure.
And Stranger Things definitely does. Remember when they completely erased Bran from all of season 5 and then made him the king in the final episode?
I do remember that, and do you know what? It still makes me really fucking angry. So
How did they think that was a good idea? Like, we're not going to go into it, but how did they think that was a good idea to say the character that the fans disliked so much that we had to get rid of him for an entire season is the one we're going to make the ruler? Like, what?
I mean, I have so many theories, but again, we could go into a special episode about it.
I think I already have an answer, and I think the answer is that they wanted to have a surprising person on the throne,
Yeah,
and they decided on shock value over actual good writing. And I think that
yeah, for
that's
sure.
the entire thing. Anyway,
Yeah,
uh,
100%.
you're right.
Yeah, but so the second part of why I think this show is so amazing is that the characters, again, are really well written individually. Like
Yeah.
each one is such, is so organic.
Hmm.
And even when they're not likable, they're still likable. Like I've been really surprised watching back over season 2 and 3
Yeah.
about how angry I am at Hopper all the time because of how badly he treats Elle as a dad.
Yeah.
He's a fucking terrible dad.
He is. I know. I was
Um,
thinking the same thing.
but still, I'm like, oh, it's so cute that they
Yeah.
found each other.
Yeah.
how does someone,
And it's
how
all
do they
love.
make
It's
me
coming from
not like
love.
someone and love someone at the same time? It's fucking impressive.
I truly think that they fucking hit the gold mine with this cast. I think this cast
Yeah,
is
they
so
did.
charming and likable that it doesn't matter.
Yes, so true.
Or that when the characters do bad things, it's still forgivable because
Mm,
we enjoy the
yeah,
cast.
for sure.
Same with
For
in
sure.
season 3 with the Joyce and Hopper storyline of them, like subplot storyline of them being maybe into each other kind of thing the whole season.
Yeah.
Um,
I forgot that
Rewatching
happened. I'm
season
so
3,
excited to.
I was like,
Yeah.
Hopper's kind of straight up mean to Joyce the entire season.
Is he? Oh, he hasn't been mean to her yet.
And
So,
then it's when they pick up the Russian and go to Murray and all that. But anyway, um,
right.
he's kind of a dick to her the whole season, and then at the end, they give all these loving glances and stuff. But I still was super into it because they're like he's so charming and all this stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, so you're very right. The characters, yeah.
Yeah. And I just fucking, I would jump in front of a train for Steve Harrington.
T.
I have, I like, I mean, I love characters a lot, but I'm so invested in that dude. Like, I don't know. I think it's just this whole like they took us from him being this kind of mean bad dude and gave him such a believable 180 that you just can't help but be like, oh my god, this guy is the
Yeah.
cutest, you know?
Yeah.
It's wild.
Well,
I love Steve. I would die for him.
I would too. In season one, I think they balanced it so well between
Yeah.
being the popular, low key bully and having redeeming features.
Yeah,
Like, he
that's
did
really true.
always
He
admit
wasn't
when
the
he was,
one,
he always went to apologize if he did do something shitty and all that. And I think they contrasted it
and he
well.
also wasn't.
I think they contrasted it well by making his two best friends truly, truly horrible mean.
Yes, this is what I was going to say is that even though
Yeah.
Steve was kind of like passive and watching a lot of the bad stuff, he wasn't actually the one doing a lot of the bad
Which
stuff,
is
so it's more
genius
forgivable.
writing. It's really fucking great
Yeah, it
writing.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. But even like Billy, I really don't like Billy at all. And even so, like even when we got to the end of season 2, and then we saw that it was his dad that was abusive towards him, which is why he
Mm.
had all that anger that he would take out on Max. Even with that, you kind of go, oh no, I feel kind of bad for him. And
Yeah.
I have to tell myself to be like, no, you can't feel bad for him. He's a piece of shit. There's no excuse for him taking this out on Max just because they like gave
Mm.
me so much empathy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I He's the one character where it was tough for me to feel for him, especially in
That's fair.
he's basically tortured all of season 3 um
Yeah, he
by
is.
the mind flayer. And I there were moments where I did, like, I felt genuinely bad for him. um so you're right, even if in season 2 I don't think they made him re- not redeemable,
No.
empathetic maybe.
And yeah, because I was gonna say it wasn't even that he was likable. It was just that you had this moment of likable empathy of being
Yeah.
like, oh, this
Yeah.
fucking
And then
sucks,
I think in
bro.
season 3 they successfully made us feel for him, um,
Yeah,
which
I
is
haven't yet. I'm not gonna
interesting.
lie, but
Interesting.
mm.
Anyway,
Okay. Are we wrapping up yet? Oh,
yeah, we'll do a quick review of
oh right. Fuck
the movie
the
Moonshot.
movie.
Where do I have it? I have
This movie
notes.
was wild. It was
Yes.
wild from start to finish. I got half an hour in and texted Nick and was like, I don't want to keep watching this. It's a train wreck.
Okay, look, my review of Moonshot is it a subpar movie? Yes.
Yes.
Did I find it charming and actually enjoy watching it? Also, yes. Which I feel
Touch,
like
touch and go for me.
you're gonna hate me for that.
Well, see, I think it's so interesting because, I mean, obviously, we've got one of my favorite tropes of all time, fake relationships.
And
And,
enemies to lovers.
oh, so true. So true. Um, and I gave it a lot of thought during this movie because I was like, this is like everything, this is a fanfic come to life.
Yeah.
Why don't I like this so much? And honestly, I think it's because fanfic tropes just don't translate very well into non-fanfic environments. It's either that or that people just don't do it very well. Um,
I No, I would say that they probably don't translate well to film and TV, and
mm,
I think that is because in written form we're able to see inside the heads, we're able to understand the thought
yeah,
process between
that's
you
so
know,
true.
if we understood why, and like Cole Sprouse's character, if we understood why and how desperate he was and the desperation he felt,
Yeah,
and all this, we would maybe be okay with him sneaking
yeah,
onto this rocket and forcing
yeah,
Lana Condor's character, basically manipulating her into
yeah,
helping him with his plan, which in
yeah.
film, because we don't see his thought process or her thought process, it's like kind of problematic. Um,
It was pretty
but
overwhelming.
in fanfic or book form, I think it works. Yeah, I don't know.
mm, that's fair. That's really fair.
So
And
for
I think like
context,
an actor has to be it has to be a really strong actor to be able to get across all of those thought processes. And I'm not saying that Cole
yeah,
Sprouse isn't a strong actor, but he wasn't given an environment in which he could be a
yeah,
strong actor, I would probably suggest. So,
yeah. No, I
yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
For context, this movie is, I guess, a romantic sci-fi comedy that is set in the near
Mm,
future, where Mars
mm,
has been colonized by a billionaire who
mm-hmm.
is not so subtly modeled after Elon Musk.
Yeah,
Um,
and they did a lot of fucking jerking off to how amazing they thought this billionaire dude was.
this is true, but basically, Lana Condor's character has a boyfriend who is already on Mars with a sciencey job, and they have a long distance relationship. And she's just been convinced to spend the money and fly to Mars to be with him in
Which,
person.
by the way, was $1 million, and she just was like, "Yeah, I have the money."
Yeah, did we find
As
out
soon
why
as
she
that
was a
happened, I was
millionaire?
like, "No, we did not." And as soon as that happened, I was like, "Are we supposed to relate to her?"
Right?
I've never not related to someone more in my entire life.
Yeah. And then Cole Sprouse's character, over one night, basically has this little fling with a girl who is leaving the next day to move to Mars for a job, and they really hit it off, and they exchange numbers and shit, and they kind of have this, I guess, cyber long distance fling relationship kind of thing. I think for literally a month, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Basically, he knew her for one night, and then after a month of occasionally talking to each other on the phone, he decided he wanted to go to Mars to be with her. So he snuck onto this rocket ship that Lana Condor's character had already bought a ticket for, and she was on. He snuck on, forced her to follow along with his plot, fake dating, all this. Um, Chaos ensues.
Well, it was kind of her idea, but like because
Oh,
she only did
indirectly.
it because she got really freaked out that they would be able to connect the two of them and that she would get blamed for him being on there. So still
Yeah,
kind of like, yeah.
put all that aside. I think for me, the beginning of the movie and the end of the movie were the weak points, and I enjoyed all of the middle
Yeah,
part. So I
that's really
enjoyed
fair.
all of the bonding and all of
Yeah,
the
that's
relationship and
fair. No,
chemistry
I would agree with
building.
that.
But the beginning, I felt like they were trying to do too much with all of the world building and CGI and shit. I think it just took half an hour to even get to the point of the film. Um, I will say I really liked the retro futuristic design
Mm,
of like the robots and the TVs being all Jetsons like vibes.
mm.
Um, and then the ending, spoiler alert, they make it to Mars, he gets arrested, but then the entire last half an hour, 20 minutes, whatever, it completely switches plot to being about her realizing she doesn't really have a connection with her boyfriend. But then his storyline is so fucking left field and wild. They arrive on Mars, he gets
Oh yeah,
arrested. His
yeah.
girlfriend breaks up with
Well,
him the same day because she thinks he's crazy, rightfully so, for following her to Mars after meeting for one night. Which I'm glad they called out, by the way. I think the fact that they
yeah,
acknowledged it made it good. Um,
true.
and he is basically he meets the Elon Musk type character who says, "Hey, we knew you were on the ship. We just let you do it to test out the security purposes. Um, we released all the security footage, and you went viral on Earth for being a meme and sneaking about all subtly, but not really subtly, and all this shit." Basically, he ends up a brand ambassador for this brand that colonized Mars, and that's like the entire last 20, 30 minutes, which to me
Hmm.
felt completely wild to introduce this entire element so close to the end.
Yeah.
Um, Anyway, yeah, and then the final moments is they both decide to go back to Earth, and on the rocket ship there, they see each other again and kiss, and that's that. Not the most complex movie.
Yeah. Sorry.
Not the most complex movie.
no, it really wasn't. I think, and it was, I don't really have much to say. Like, I don't really know how to describe my feelings about this movie because mostly it was just weird and I was kind of uncomfortable the whole time, but for reasons generally unknown.
Mm,
I was like, I'm not vibing with it really. Like, I don't know what it was that I didn't, yeah, because the story wasn't, like, it wasn't terrible.
hmm
It wasn't bad. They just didn't pull it off very well.
Yeah, I'd agree. I don't think, yeah. Very
Which is
that. And I think
weird
that's a
because
good
I
way to
love
sum up the
both Paul
movie.
Sprouse and Lana Condor.
Very much. I think they had the good ideas, they just couldn't execute it well. And I think that that sums up the
Yeah,
movie. You're true. You're right.
yeah, makes sense.
Um, that's it on that. I don't really have anything else to say on the movie. Oh, actually, yes, I do. Why? What was all the jokes about him having an erection or not getting an erection?
Oh, that was just because at some point, um, because right at the beginning they asked him, because thinking obviously that he was the other scientist dude, if he would give a presentation during the flight, and he said no, and they were like, why not? And the lady character, Lana, was like, oh, because last time he had an unfortunate accident, he got an erection or something like that. It was a joke. She was just saying it to make fun of him
Oh,
basically, and then it kind of just
it was a reoccurring joke.
spiraled from there. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't get that at all. Anyway,
Oh,
um,
you might have missed
okay,
that part.
I must have. I want to rant about something quickly,
Okay.
and that is, did you see that Rebel Wilson came out as queer and has a long-term girlfriend and stuff?
Yes, but that's all I know about it. Literally those two sentences.
Okay, so she came out. It was all super cute and fun and fresh, and it was nice to have a celebrity come out and all this. And then it fucking the Sydney Morning Herald publishes an
Oh,
article by Andrew Hornery, who can I
I
just
don't know
read
if
you
I
the
want
whole
to know
thing?
this. Yeah, go for it.
Oh,
Oh God.
it's so fucking insane.
Oh God.
Okay. Um. So opinion piece: Rebel Wilson starts spreading the news of relationship. Uh, byline is coming out rebel style. Okay. So this isn't me. This is quote. In a
Okay,
perfect
the
world,
article is starting.
in a perfect world, outing same-sex celebrity relationships should be a redundant concept in 2022. Love is love, right? As Rebel Wilson knows, we do not live in a perfect world. So,
Oh no.
it was with an abundance of caution and respect that this media outlet emailed Rebel Wilson's representatives on Thursday morning, giving her 2 days to comment on her new relationship with another woman, LA leisure wear designer Ramona Agruma, before publishing a single word. Big mistake. Wilson opted to gazump the story, posting about her new Disney princess on Instagram early Friday morning, the same platform she previously the same platform you previously used to brag about her handsome ex-boyfriend, wealthy American beer baron Jacob Bush. She even had her bestie, the actor Hugh Sheridan, doing radio interviews on Breakfast FM on Friday morning, during which he gloated about introducing the women to each other 6 months ago. Apparently, they had hit it off pretty much immediately, but he had kept the relationship under wraps.
Wait, I'm sorry.
It keeps going.
This
Just wait.
article.
Just wait.
Okay,
Considering how bitterly
but
Wilson
can I
had
just
complained about.
clarify?
No,
Is
because
this okay?
we'll clarify at
Fine.
the end. Considering how bitterly Wilson had complained about poor journalism standards when she successfully sued Women's Day for defamation, her choice to ignore our discreet, genuine, and honest queries was, in our view, underwhelming. Of course, who anyone dates is their business, but Wilson happily fed such prurient interest when she had a hunky boyfriend on her arm. This is understood to be Wilson's first same-sex relationship at age 42, and in an era when same-sex marriage is legal in many parts of the world, and, thanks to decades of battling for equality, sexual orientation is no longer something to be hidden, even in Hollywood. Up to now, Wilson has identified publicly as a heterosexual woman. It is unlikely she would have experienced the sort of discrimination, let alone homophobia, subconscious or overt, that sadly still affects so many gay, lesbian, and non heterosexual people.
What?
She and a groomer have grown very close in a short time. Wilson's blah, blah, blah. And then from there. So, the fact, I don't know how you followed that, because I read it out quickly and all that, but the fact that the Sydney Morning Herald extorted and outed Rebel Wilson in 2022 and then wrote an entire fucking article about the fact that they were mad that she posted about it, that she came out publicly, ruining their headline and their exclusive story, and that she's in the wrong for doing that because it's insensitive to their journalism? How fucking disgusting is this?
That is genuinely one of the absolute craziest things I have ever heard in my entire fucking life.
By an
And I've
official
heard
publication.
some wild shit. That is insane. That's insane.
I'm like shaking
That
with
is
how angry that makes me.
insane. There's so many layers of that I cannot comprehend. Like, A, the fact that they were like, outing is bad, we were gonna do it.
Literally. Or they
What?
said outing used to be bad, but now it's okay because it's 2022.
The fact that they then had a fucking hissy fit about how she was like, you know what, I refuse to be outed. I'm gonna do this in my own way. The fact that they then published an article about it,
Admitting it all.
expecting people to be on their side,
Literally.
and expecting people to be on their side.
Literally.
It's the Sydney fucking Morning Herald. It's not like I expect any different, but what the fuck?
It's so fucking psychotic. I was so infuriated that I went to the author's page.
It is psychotic.
To the journalist, quote unquote journalist's page, and went to his Instagram. He's a gay man.
What the fuck?
He's a gay man.
What
and
the fuck?
He supported Albo for Prime Minister, so I'm assuming he's not conservative. Like, there's so many fucked up layers to this. And I think just baseline, it's fucking disgusting that the Sydney Morning Herald admitted to outing Rebel Wilson. They did. It's not tried to. They did out her. She had to post that. Otherwise, they would have written about it.
Otherwise, yeah.
They outed her. Full stop, period.
Yeah, for sure.
So fucked up. I just... Oh.
See, the thing...
Oh, wait, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, I think this also, independent of all of that, separate issue, but I think this needs to start a conversation about how men treat... how gay men treat queer women. Because, honestly, as part of the gay community, we do them dirty so often, and this is, like, so fucking gross.
It is... It's pretty... I am, like, genuinely having trouble, like, comprehending.
Right.
That is... It's like... Oh...
It just doesn't make sense. And
it just does not.
And it's so sense. Shameless.
It doesn't make any sense at all. See, and I have a lot of respect for the idea of journalism. I genuinely think that it's like such an important profession, because I'm like, there's shit that governments, that people are doing that we deserve to know about and that they're never going to admit to. Like, so the kind of like the institution, the idea of journalism, I'm fucking into. But I just don't understand how it has fallen so far from like uncovering shit like Watergate to being like, we wanted to out Rebel Wilson, but she beat us to it and now we're mad. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. Entertainment journalism, I think, has always just been a cesspool of
Oh my god.
shitty people doing things to people who are in the public eye because it's their profession, you know? Um,
It's really true. You're so right. Those, yeah, they're definitely their own breed of
gross human.
disgusting. Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of problems with journalism in general these days, like with the way things are reported. I don't know if you saw in the lead up to the election half the shit they were posting. I think it was actually also the Sydney Morning Herald.
So I
Um,
checked, I went to the front page of the Sydney Morning Herald, they still are. Every article's,
posting a oh my god,
oh, sorry, I don't know what
it's
you were
hit.
going to say, but they're
Well,
posting, like, hit pieces about Albo, and,
yeah. Well, and about
they're like
how
opinion
the
pieces
Australian people
labeled as fact. But anyway,
legit about how the Australian people would be stupid to elect Labor and the fact that we definitely shouldn't be voting for Greens and independents and
yeah,
shit. It's like
that's the very
what
same paper, yes.
are you doing? What are you doing? You can't. You're supposed to be.
They're just
You're not
bending.
opinion people. You are fact people. That's what you do. You report
Exactly.
fucking facts. You don't make opinions based on what you want to be true. That's
Correct.
not what the news is fucking
Correct.
for.
Yeah,
Just
it's
because
because
you're
they're bending
owned
to
by a
the
fucking
will
psychotic man.
of the billionaires that own the
Oh my god,
corporation.
it
Rupert
shits me
Murdoch,
to fucking tears.
fucking. Anyway, let's
Oof.
not
Okay,
continue
I'm
on
getting
this.
really mad now.
I just needed to say that because it disgusts me that in 2022 there's
That's
that.
disgusting.
And then people um, are already relating it to queer roles and stuff in movies and TV because there was the actor Lucas Gage
Mm.
is refusing to say what his sexuality is because he's played, I think, 5 LGBTQ plus roles in recent years.
Mm.
Um, and it's sparked a whole nother discussion about who should be able to play queer roles and who shouldn't and all this stuff. Um, and I feel like
Well, see, I
my
think.
take on it
Yeah, no, you keep going.
is the only right take, and I think that take is people have a right to privacy and to not sharing their sexuality should
Yeah.
they not want to. Okay, wait, scratch all that. It would I know I believe all that, but my take is this whole topic about straight people playing queer roles and then or saying I don't want to label my sexuality, um, when they're clearly a straight person who's playing queer roles and making money off the queer community, despite the fact of being straight, and there's just an easy way out to say I'm not labeling it. Um, I don't think the issue has anything to do with the actual actors. I truly, in my heart, believe that the issue is with casting directors and studios. If you're
Mm.
casting for a queer role in a piece of movie or a TV show that is about a queer story, if you're casting a queer role, it's on the casting people to prioritize out queer actors.
Yeah.
Then you're
Yeah.
not forcing
That's so
anyone
true.
out, you're not putting anyone in a situation where they have to discuss their sexuality. It's just easy. If you're casting a queer role, prioritize already out queer people.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to
True.
exclusively class them. Prioritize them. Give them the chance
Yeah.
first. You know?
Yeah. For sure. I totally agree.
Anyway,
That makes complete sense.
let's do our what the fuck of the weeks quickly.
Okay. I
I
don't
have
have one.
2 quick what the fuck of the weeks.
Okay. Can I have one as
Um,
well?
my first what the fuck of the week is that I've been seeing a lot of TikTok videos, like cooking videos, and it's truly on a deep level infuriates me that Americans say 1/4 of a cup or 2/4 of a cup instead of saying just a quarter cup, half a cup.
1/2.
Insane.
Why would they say 2/4? That doesn't make any sense. It's
Three
like the first
fourths.
fucking thing you learn in math class is
But anyway,
go
it's
to
just
the
the way that they
smallest
phrase it
fraction that you can.
instead of 1/4, 1/4 of a cup is insane to me. My second thing is, I learned something this week that truly shook me to my core. Um,
Okay, what was it?
okay, the word. Okay, I'm gonna spell out a word and you say it how you think it's said.
Okay.
HOMOGENOUS.
What?
You know the word that starts with
Hom-
H for something that's
hom-
well incorporated?
homogeneous? Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Yes, I've always
Yeah.
pronounced it homogeneous.
Yeah.
That makes sense, right? Homogeneous.
Right.
I learned this week Homogeneous is pronounced homogeneous.
Is it though? Or
It
is that
is,
just the way
because I saw
Americans
a
say it?
TikTok talking about something being homogeneous, and they said homogeneous, and I was like, lol, this person's an idiot. Imagine not being able to pronounce the word homogeneous properly. I Google it. It's homogeneous.
Is it though, or is that just the way Americans say it? Because they fucking say conch instead of conch, and that's stupid.
They say
So
what?
conch instead of conch, like shell, the shell. Conch.
Oh, see,
What
now
the
the
fuck
episode's
even is
either going to
that?
be called conch or homogeneous genius. Because it sounds so much like homogeneous, like Jimmy Neutron. Um,
Um, homoj. I absolutely believe that this is entirely an accent thing. Was a TikTok video of an Australian?
uh, I think so. Homogeneous pronunciation. Okay, wait.
Homogeneous.
Oh no, that's the Australian accent. Wait, okay. Are you ready?
Homogeneous.
Homogeneous.
See?
Homogeneous.
See?
Yeah, well, see, but you fucking got homogenous, so obviously this is
But
an
it's
accent thing.
homogeneous. Because if we're gonna go by,
Only in America, and they say things wrong anyway.
I mean, I agree. Aluminum and aluminium is always gonna fuck me up.
Oh my
Caramel
God.
and caramel is always gonna fuck me up. But the fact that
Fucking, why would they say caramel? There's a fucking A in the middle. It doesn't make sense.
right? It doesn't make sense. But the fact that any country pronounces homogeneous as homogeneous
So true. Wrong.
shook me to my core.
Absolutely shameful.
Completely shook me to my core. So my what the fuck of the week this week is Americans for saying homogeneous and for saying 1/4 of a cup instead of 1/4 cup.
Wow, how dare they say so many things wrong?
Idiots, I tell you. Um,
Truly.
okay, what's your what the fuck of the week?
I don't really have one.
I thought you had one about Jack.
Oh, well, I've already said it, which is
Oh.
that he had a seizure. Like
Okay.
a little freak.
Well, you don't have to have a what the fuck because we can do something else instead.
Oh, what?
So I made you download the Google app
Right.
because on TikTok
You
this
did.
week I also learned of a feature on the Google app, right?
Okay.
Where you can hum a
Okay.
song. If you don't know the words to a song but you know the general tune, you can like badly sing or hum the words to a song, and it should tell you exactly
Okay,
what
I
it
vibe with
is.
that. I vibe
If
with
you
that.
open the Google app and you click on the microphone in the search bar, it opens up a new page that looks like this.
That's just a white
Oh,
screen.
it went away. But
Okay, yeah.
there's a button at the bottom called Search a Song.
Search a song.
And I'm gonna do one, and then you're gonna do one.
Okay.
I'm gonna do okay. Getting ready, getting ready. I didn't get it.
It didn't.
No, but it comes up with 3 different options. Okay, wait.
Which was one of them the right one?
'Cause I haven't treated shitty. Oh, I didn't play the song. Treat me this way. You made me hate the city. I talk shit about you. I know that.
If it doesn't get that,
It did.
as it should.
Happier Than Ever by Billie Eilish, a 26% match.
Good.
You try and do that in Shazam, it's not gonna work.
So true. So
Okay,
true.
so now I need you to
I mean,
sing a
it
song
almost
badly and see if it
didn't
picks it up.
work there. Fuck, what song should I do? What's the song I was listening to today?
Do you gotta Go My Own Way from High School Musical 2?
Okay.
That, What about me?
No, didn't get it.
There's no way. That was too bad. That wasn't even on tune.
That's so fucking rude. What do you mean it wasn't on? You knew exactly what part I was singing. No, we didn't get it. I got a 10% match.
At least
From
do it
random
with giving it
songs.
some words.
Okay. What about us?
Stunning. That's your I'm convinced this will work.
You know, it did. Gotta go my own way, but it's only a 26% match, which is quite
There you
rare.
go. That's pretty good, though.
Fantastic job. Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was very cool that you can only, if you only know a couple words to a song, but you know you can hum it. Google's got your back.
That's true.
I thought that was cool.
Love that. Thanks,
Anyway,
Google.
let's
wrap this shit up.
Next week we'll be back in person on a regular schedule. I'm positive. I mean, unless I'm positive in something else. So I think that's it.
And we'll talk about movies that we've actually seen.
True.
As opposed to talking about movies that we haven't seen.
Also true. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I think that's it.
Cute.
It's a very long. It's like an hour and a half episode, but anyway.
I've got an hour and 40, so. Whoops.
Anyway, we had a lot to talk about. Okay. We'll give it back. Thank you so much for listening to What the Fuck is Happening? Fuck us.